All right, let's jump into another deep dive. And you guys know, of course, Holly Willoughby from Dancing on Ice.
Yeah.
And her, like, forever partnership with Phillip Schofield.
Right.
But after Phillip left, Stephen Mulhern stepped in.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, let's just say the internet is kind of losing it over how they interact.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to unpack all that chatter, figure out what people are saying, and see if maybe this whole awkward thing is just like a phase or, you know, maybe something a bit more.
Well, it's more than just a simple swap. You know, it's not just like one host out, one host in.
Right.
It's like you're changing a key ingredient in your favorite recipe.
Oh, I like that.
You might end up with something that you can eat, you know, maybe even enjoy, but it's going to taste different.
Oh, that's such a good way to put it, because a lot of the comments we're saying, people are saying it definitely tastes different. And I've noticed awkward is a word that keeps popping up a lot. Forced, stilted, like there's no chemistry.
Right, right.
Like those are the things that are coming up again and again.
And, you know, thinking about that awkwardness, there could be a few reasons for that.
Okay.
First one that jumps out, you're going from a partnership that's been solid for years to a brand new one.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's like if you suddenly had to switch dance partners in the middle of a routine,
Yeah.
there are gonna be missteps.
Totally.
They're gonna have to, you gotta find that new rhythm.
Yeah, especially when you think about how different their presenting styles are.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Phillip, he was always so measured, you know, kind of understated even.
Right.
But Stephen, he's like high energy.
Yeah, he's all about the comedy.
Yeah.
Big personality, you know, that works great when you're doing a prank show, but maybe not such an easy fit with Dancing on Ice, which is all about, you know, elegance and all that.
Yeah, and it kind of makes me think about those comments saying Stephen's humor is a bit much, or that it feels out of place. Like some viewers find it jarring, you know, like it throws off the flow.
And that's where you get into the whole thing about humor being subjective, right?
Oh, totally.
What one person finds hilarious, someone else is cringing.
Yeah, yeah.
It really depends on your taste, you know, your sense of humor, even your background.
Oh, for sure. Like, I love puns.
Okay.
And I know they make some people just groan.
Ugh, yeah.
But don't you think context matters too?
Oh, absolutely. Context is everything.
Like, a joke at a party might be funny,
Right.
but that same joke at, like, a funeral, not so much.
No, not at all.
And Dancing on Ice, it's always been about elegance and athleticism, right?
Yeah.
And the humor, it's always been pretty subtle.
Yeah, kind of woven into the whole feel of the show.
Exactly. So Stephen, with his, like, louder, in-your-face style,
Yeah.
maybe that clashes with the humor that people are used to.
Yeah, it's like he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt to a black tie event.
Oh, perfect analogy.
So it's not necessarily wrong.
Right.
It just doesn't quite fit, you know?
Exactly. And that might be why some people feel like something's off. They're expecting one kind of humor.
Right, a certain energy.
Yeah.
And Stephen's not giving them that, at least not right away.
Okay, but let's be real. We can't ignore the elephant in the room.
You mean Phillip?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So many comments, it's like people are mourning, like the end of an era.
Yeah.
One person even said, I really miss Phillip, the chemistry, he and Holly, it was so natural, this is just not the same.
It's interesting, right? That speaks volumes about expectations, you know?
Yeah.
And what we call parasocial relationships.
Oh, okay, break that down for me.
Okay, so these are like one-sided bonds that viewers form with people in the media.
Right.
You feel like you know them.
Oh, like those characters you grew up with.
Exactly.
That are old friends.
You're invested in their lives, their relationships, all of that.
And when that changes, like Phillip leaving.
Yeah, it can feel like a loss,
All right.
even betrayal for some.
Wow.
It's not that they dislike the new person, it's that they're grieving what they've lost.
Yeah, it's like when your favorite band changes their lead singer.
Oh, that's a good one.
The music might be fine, but it's just not the same.
Right, exactly.
It's missing that original voice.
And that feeling of loss, that can make people super sensitive to anything that feels off or awkward.
Right, right.
They're already primed to feel that way.
So it's like even if Stephen did and said everything exactly like Phillip.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Some people would still find it awkward because it's not Phillip.
It's wild how powerful those perceptions and emotional attachments are.
Absolutely. And that's something both Holly and Stephen are dealing with as they try to create their own thing on screen.
And speaking of Holly, I have to bring up all the scrutiny she's been under since Phillip left.
Oh yeah, it's intense.
It's like people are analyzing her every expression, every interaction.
Every little thing.
And there are comments saying she seems less confident, more reserved than she used to be.
Well, put yourself in her shoes for a minute.
Okay.
You're navigating a new professional relationship with cameras in your face. And everyone is watching. dissecting your every move.
It's like trying to learn a new dance on a stage with 1,000 spotlights on you.
Exactly. That would make anyone a bit self-conscious.
Right. But before we move on, there's one more piece about Stephen's performance that I think we need to unpack.
Oh, you mean how some people think he's trying too hard to fill Philip's shoes?
You read my mind. Let's dive into that next.
Yeah. It's like he's trying to fill a void that shouldn't be filled.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like I saw someone say, it feels like he's trying to be the funny guy and it's just not landing.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a fair assessment?
I mean, it's tricky because Stephen is funny.
Oh, yeah. Naturally so.
It's part of his charm, right?
Definitely. But there's a difference between being playful and trying to force a dynamic that's just not there organically.
Yeah, like maybe he's just trying to find his place.
Could be.
I mean, it is a new role for him, and those are some big shoes to fill.
Oh, absolutely. It's a ton of pressure. Live TV following a beloved duo.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to want to make a splash. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe overcompensate a little.
It's like that whole thing of be yourself but also fit the mold, you know?
Right.
It's just tough when the audience is already so attached to what they were used to.
Exactly. It's like that saying, you can't compare apples and oranges. Philip and Stephen, they bring different things to the table.
Yeah.
You can't expect Stephen to just do Philip's act.
So maybe the answer is for Stephen to just own his style,
Right.
his humor, and let that come through.
Instead of trying to be the next Philip, he can be the first Stephen.
Yeah, just be authentic.
Exactly, because that's what connects with people you know.
Right.
When someone's comfortable with who they are, it shows.
Yeah, and that's when you get the magic.
Totally.
Maybe what we're calling this awkward phase.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just part of their journey as a presenting duo.
You know what's interesting? Sometimes the pairings that you'd least expect end up having the best chemistry. It's like you're combining ingredients that don't seem like they go together,
Okay.
but they create this amazing dish.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
Exactly.
Good on their own. Amazing together.
Maybe that's what we're seeing here. The early stages of a recipe that's going to be delicious.
Ooh. I love that the early stages of a delicious new recipe.
Yeah. But of course, not all experiments work out.
Right.
So let's play devil's advocate for a minute.
Okay.
What if, no matter what they do, it just doesn't click?
That's true. Not every combination is meant to be.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Even if they don't become this iconic pair,
Mm-hmm.
the experiment itself is interesting. It shakes things up. You know,
Right.
makes us question what we think of as good TV.
It's like shaking up a snow globe
Ooh, that's good.
and seeing where everything lands.
Right. You might not get the same picture you had before,
Yeah.
but it could be just as pretty, just as captivating.
Exactly. And it gets people talking and keeps things fresh.
That's what entertainment's all about, right?
For sure. So maybe instead of getting hung up on the awkwardness,
Yeah.
we should just enjoy the newness of it all.
Embrace the unexpected,
Yeah.
because predictable is boring.
Right.
A little chaos, a little mystery. That's where the excitement is.
Oh, totally. It's like watching a tightrope walker.
Yeah.
You're on the edge of your seat. You don't know if they're going to make it.
Right. And that's part of the thrill.
Exactly.
Hey,
And that brings us to the other half of the equation.
the audience.
Yeah, the viewers. We've talked about Holly and Stephen,
Uh-huh.
but what about the people watching at home?
Right. Yeah, they're a big part of this.
What's their side of the story? We've talked about the awkwardness, the different styles, Philip leaving, the pressure on Holly. But what about the viewers? What about the people at home?
They're a huge part of this.
Right. I mean, they're the ones who ultimately decide if this whole thing works or not.
They bring their own baggage, so to speak, to the table.
Okay, baggage. What do you mean?
Their own perspectives, expectations, and even those emotional attachments we talked about.
Right, the parasocial relationship.
Exactly. And in this case, those attachments, they run deep.
Okay.
Think about it. Viewers have spent years invested in Holly and Philip's relationship.
Years, yeah?
They've laughed with them. They've been there for all the on-screen moments.
Right.
They feel like they know them.
It's like having a favorite armchair.
Ooh, I like that.
Super comfy, familiar.
It's yours.
And then suddenly someone comes along and replaces it.
Right. And the new one might be great,
Yeah.
objectively,
Maybe even better.
but it's not yours.
You're attached to the old one.
Exactly. And that feeling of disruption, that can be really jarring for viewers.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
It brings up all sorts of emotions,
Yeah,
nostalgia, sadness.
I bet some people even feel betrayed.
Absolutely. And it's not always about disliking the new person.
Right. It's about grieving what's been lost.
That familiar dynamic.
And that grief, it can show up in different ways.
Some people might become super critical in the new pairing.
Really?
Yeah, like they're searching for every little flaw or awkward moment.
Like trying to prove it's wrong somehow.
Exactly. Others might just tune out completely.
Really? Just stop watching.
It's too painful. Like avoiding a place that holds happy memories because you know it's going to make you sad.
Yeah, I get that.
But then you have those viewers who are all in on the change.
Oh, yeah, the ones who are excited to see something new.
They thrive on the fresh energy.
Like trying a new restaurant.
Some people stick with their usual order.
Right, but some people want to try everything on the menu.
And all of those reactions. Totally valid.
Yeah, I guess there's no one right way to feel about it.
Exactly. The audience, it's not one big blob with a single opinion.
Right. They're individuals with their own experiences, likes, dislikes.
And their own emotional responses, too.
So where does that leave Holly and Steven? How do they handle all these different expectations and feelings?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And there's no easy answer.
Because if you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one.
It's like that old saying, a jack of all trades is a master of none.
Or like trying to create one dish that appeals to every single palate.
Impossible.
So maybe the best thing they can do is just be authentic.
Let their real personality shine through, quirks and all.
To everyone watching this new dynamic unfold, just remember, give it time.
Keep an open mind.
Because sometimes the best journeys are the ones that take us off the map.
It's all about embracing the unexpected.
Well, that was quite the deep dive. From presenting styles to psychology.
Even some food and furniture analogies.
Always fun exploring these things with you.
Me too. Until next time.
Keep those brains buzzing, everyone. And remember, sometimes those awkward moments lead to the best discoveries. We'll see you on the next deep dive.